So look, I've spent tons of money on things over the years, and with all of the mistakes and lessons that I've learned throughout, I have now concluded the 7 best purchases to make in your teenage years. And I want to make this clear very early on. This isn't going to be your typical, oh, open up a Roth IRA or invest in knowledge. Because frankly, yes, it's true and it is important, but it's something that you're going to hear everywhere. And yes, I've made those kind of videos in the past as well, but so have 101 different YouTubers. So now I want to give you my personal top purchases to make for any young man out there. Now look, your teenage years are, yes, for having fun, learning who you are, and a lot more than that. But on the same token, there are things that should be done during those years to lay the foundation for the next step in your life. In other words, you should start building yourself up. You want to start making some money, building a skill set, and more. But to do these things, there are some essential things that you should buy. And this leads us right into our first purchase that any teenager should make, which is a high-end laptop. Look, in this day and age, everybody is doing something online. And if you don't have a laptop or a computer to keep up with it, you are going to fall behind in the blink of an eye. Not only this, but I think it's pretty universal that everyone should have at least some computer skills, because if you don't, I guarantee you it's going to hurt you somewhere later in life. And I want to be very clear that you want to buy a higher end laptop. Whether it be a MacBook or an Alienware computer, this is something that you don't want to cheap out on, because if you do, it is something that will end up costing you a lot of time and money in the long run. Now, the next purchase to make in your teenage years is in your wardrobe. And look, I already know that a lot of people out there think that spending money on clothes is useless, but I don't agree. Your clothing, your style, your fashion, all of it says so much about you. So my recommendation for everybody out there is to go out and get some nice fitted clothes. Go and get a blazer or two, go and get some polo t-shirts, and specifically get some basic t-shirts. And don't listen to all the dorks online out there who will go and tell you to buy a tailored suit and everything, because listen, you're probably only 16, 17 years old. Don't overdo it. Dress respectively and appropriate to every situation that you may be in, but there's a very fine line between respectable and overdoing it at your age. So if you have a couple $100s laying around, instead of buying the newest video game or a Louis Vuitton or Gucci bag or any of these big, bold brand names that quite frankly, when you wear them, just make you look stupid. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, when you wear those big, bold brand names, it tells other people one of two things. Either you're lower or middle class and you're wanting to appear rich, and that's just what it is. So either that, or yes, you make a lot of money, but you're not confident in yourself, so you feel like you have to wear these big, bold brand names to impress other people and validate their feelings that you have a lot of money. So rather than doing that, go to some brands and get your essentials. Get yourself a couple nice t-shirts, specifically, go and look for some good trousers, and like I mentioned earlier, get yourself some basic tees. It doesn't need to be anything complicated. Basic black, white, blue tees are all great and appropriate for many different settings. And these are the kinds of things that you can look into getting tailored as well, because let's be honest, a lot of these things are only gonna cost you an extra 20, 30 bucks maybe to get them tailored, and it's gonna make a huge difference. Now you might be wondering right now, why am I mentioning this specifically? And it's because you are treated differently depending on the way that you dress. I mean, just your confidence alone is going to skyrocket when you dress well and when you present yourself nicely to the world. And small things like that are going to make an astronomical difference. Now, the next best purchase to make in your teenage years are some good books. Now, all the people commenting below right now, oh, Eric, we've heard all this before. Yeah, read books, whatever. You still haven't read half the books that these people will recommend for you to read. And as a teenager, like I said earlier, you should be building your skill set and your characters through these years. And the best way to learn something besides experiencing it from yourself is learning from those who have already done it. And oftentimes, these people will give you guides through books. And if you're looking for my personal book recommendations, top 3 right now for any young man out there have to be 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and Atomic Habits from James Clear. All insanely great books and all specifically good books for teenagers. Now, the next best purchase for any teenager is a timepiece. Now look, I'm not talking about a Rolex or anything, But like how I mentioned earlier that you want to purchase a good wardrobe, a timepiece is an investment that's worth it. When you walk around with a nice timepiece, it shows other people a few things. It shows them that you are dependable and reliable, and oftentimes it is a sign of status. I know at least when I see somebody that's wearing a watch, I automatically respect them a little bit more because I know that they worked for it. And like I said, it doesn't need to be a Rolex or an AP or anything. I have a couple different Fossil watches like this one here. I have a Vincero or two, and that's all you need. They look good and you can wear them in pretty much any outfit. Now the next best purchase to make in your teenage years is a mentorship to acquire a high income skill. Whether this be video editing, coding, sales, graphic design, or any physical labor job that is in demand, you want to be acquiring a skill set as a teenager that others simply don't have. Because then by the time that you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you'll be miles ahead of everybody else because of that one skill that you now have experience in. And I do want to make this clear. It doesn't even necessarily need to be a mentorship, but you want to have the right tools to master a high income skill. If you're looking at how to get really good at coding, go and take a bunch of different courses on coding if that's what works for you. Everybody learns in a different way, obviously. So whatever it is, whatever high income skill you choose to master, buy the tools in order to cultivate that. Now the next best purchase to make in your teenage years is a pair of blue light blockers or something along the lines of that to help with your sleep. Now if you don't know what blue light blockers are specifically, every single time you look at a phone screen, a computer, a TV, anything like that, you absorb blue light through your eyes. And I've heard of way too many people who will go out and say, oh, you know, I can never fall asleep. And then you ask them what they do before they go to bed and they watch TV for 3 hours. Of course you can't sleep. You just absorbed 3 hours worth of blue light. So as simple as it may sound, just go out and buy a pair of blue light blockers. You can get a decent pair for like 70, 80 bucks, and trust me, they're worth it. Two other things though that I will mention when it comes to getting better sleep are getting a weighted blanket and red LED lights. They both are believed to make a huge difference for most people, and even I've tried the weighted blanket and I've experienced a huge difference in my sleep quality. Now the final best purchase to make in your teenage years is investing. And you can look at 101 different YouTube videos out there and they'll all tell you the same thing. And besides paying off any debt that you have, which you probably don't have any at this age, this is the best purchase to make in your teenage years. And look, people always ask, oh, well, what's the point of investing $50 a month? That won't do anything. And you're right, it probably won't. But what it does do is it gets you in the habit of investing every single month so that then when you're making 10 times as much money, you're then investing $500 a month or $5,000 a month. Because at that point, it's just automatic. And I know that may sound a little crazy to some of you guys, but just start investing as soon as you can, because if you start investing young, very few things can go wrong because time is on your side. But ladies and gentlemen, this video will get you started. And as I said, I probably shared things in this video that the rest of YouTube doesn't really ever cover. And it probably contradicted a lot of these self-help, self-improvement gurus out there that talk all this nonsense. I don't really care. Look, I'm gonna pop up this video right here for you guys where I talk about the best way to make money online in 2023. This video was a great way to start, but this one will 10x your results.